So we're talking about energy awareness training in terms of how that works and a little understanding about the energetic worlds before we go into our topic tonight. So what I mentioned at the top of the evening was we have Nikola Tesla, who everybody has heard of, everybody considers to be a modern genius, talked about had a great quote that said, if you really want to understand the mysteries of life and really how life works, you're going to begin to look at it in terms of energy, vibration, and frequency. Now, this quote's been around for quite a while, and it really has come to light really in the past few years, because we've all heard from our 7th grade teachers that everything is energy. But what that means to us in terms of what's happening now is opening a new door for training and personal development and personal change. Because the normal way that people have been trying to change is go to a shrink, psychologist, psychiatrist, talk about your problems. Maybe you'll feel better. If you want to feel even better, the shrink will give you a prescription for your problem, for your anxiety. It's either some form of anxiety, stress, or tension. But by and large, it hasn't worked. So people have gone to another route. They've gone into the personal development, self-help route. Read books, take courses, see shamans, the whole 9 yards. And while that's helped people make change, and I was one of them, I didn't get the change I was looking for. And I felt that I was up against something that I didn't know what it was. And in my studies, in my long history of working on myself and trying to change and trying to improve, I went along this route, became a trainer and a success speaker and an energy healer and a quantum science lecturer, et cetera, et cetera. But I knew in the back of my head, I still hadn't reached that point that I knew I was capable of. And then through a series of events I will go into now, a process took place where I was able to become aware of the energetic impact or lack thereof that there is in the human experience. And as a result of that, I began to get downloaded information of how to see invisible energy. And that might seem kind of out there, but hey, welcome. But what I realized is that this was the missing link on how to make dramatic human change. So I recognize that there are certain principles and concepts that we're dealing with in this world that no one tells us about. For example, we heard some bad news tonight. We heard there was another shooting. 17 people were shot and killed. Now, I don't know about you, but when I heard this, I went, oh. And I started to feel down, I started to feel sad. And anybody who's ever lost anyone or had somebody that they love hurt will go immediately into this feeling of dread and grief and loss. Now, that's an energy. Remember I said at the top of the evening here, everything that we're experiencing, including our behaviors, is an energy frequency. It's a code, it's a vibration. And these vibrations have a direction that they take you in. They have a power in and of themselves. They have a purpose, and they have information. So if you think about what we do every day, when we get up in the morning, what are we doing? We're constantly trying to make decisions on what's good for us. What's going to be good for me today? What food am I going to eat? What job am I going to do? What person am I going to be involved with? What activity am I going to do? Et cetera, et cetera. And we want to pick the things that are good for us and stay away from the things that aren't good for us. And yet, a lot of the times we pick things and choose things that we thought were going to be good for us, but end up being the opposite. Now, we didn't consciously choose that. It's not something that we consciously did. You know, we wouldn't choose to do something that wouldn't be good for us, yet that's the action that takes place. So there are other factors involved. And for the new people, I talk about recognizing the hidden energies inside us that are affecting us. People call it a lot of different things, but I'm going to call it energies because I've identified these energies and how they work and how they move. Now, I have a saying that says, that which we can see, we can control. That which we can't see controls us. So it's interesting that in growing up in our education, we learn a lot of information about algebra and about geography and politics and stuff, but no one ever teaches us how to deal with this mechanism called our bodies, called our thinking processes, called our energies. So it's up to us to be able to figure out all the thoughts that we have and all the emotions and all the feelings we have. And sometimes they lead us in a good direction, and sometimes they lead us in a not good direction, in a painful direction. So I've identified these frequencies. There's many of them, but they all come under a heading of vibration. One's high vibration, one's low vibration. This energy, it's the energies inside us. There's an energy inside us that wants us to achieve, that wants us to be happy, that wants us to move forward, that wants us to achieve our full potential self. It's kind of like what we're going to talk about in relationships. This energy is happy, it's joyous, it's free, it's unlimited, it's open, it's flowing, it's expanding. It's all the good stuff, it's loving, it's connected. All the things that we value in the human experience, we can call high vibrational energy. And that's the energy that we're born into, and that's the energy that we all want to stay in. That's what we're looking for in every experience that we do, in every relationship, in every business, in every event. We're all looking for, beyond the form, we're looking for the energy, high vibrational energy. Now, nobody has any problem navigating high vibrational energy. It's when we get over here to the low vibration energy, that's where we have the challenge. And I've identified certain energetic laws that exist in this world that it's very important to know. Because if you don't know them, it doesn't matter if you know them or not, you're governed and you're affected by them. And one of the most important laws that I teach is the law of duality. The law of what? Dualities, making sure you're awake here. Duality, what does that mean? That means that whatever you have, there's an opposite to it. So if we have happy, we have sad. We have up, we have down. We have right, we have wrong. We have good, we have bad. We have male, we have female. It goes on and on. So we, in the back of our minds, think, hey, we're supposed to be happy. We're supposed to keep the happiness going all the time. We're supposed to keep the money going all the time. We're supposed to keep the health going all the time, right? That's what we want. And yet, we experience energy or turbulence that is just the opposite of that. So if we have these high vibrations or these good vibrations here of stuff that makes you feel good, then we have the opposite here of low vibration energy, stuff like that's dark, that's constricted, that's stuck, that's filled with anxiety and stress, that brings us down, that causes chaos and distress and separation. And there's hundreds of definitions of that. But remember I said, energy has a purpose, a power, a direction, and an information. So as we live the human experience and we go outside and we look around, we're feeling, okay, what's the weather? Oh, it's sunny? Okay, I don't need a jacket. Or it's cold, or raining, I better bring an umbrella. So everything that we experience is giving us information, is giving us a direction if we can see it. The thing is, we're not taught to see it. So we look for things and we try to make change the best we can. But I like it to the metaphor of the iceberg. 10% you can see above the water, 90% you can't see, it's below. And the Titanic wasn't sunk by what it could see, it was sunk by what it couldn't see. So when we come back to the original premise, how do I change my life? How do I move forward? How do I leave the pain of my past and the stuff that threw me for a loop and start a new life and become happy permanently? That's the question that we all have. And the answer has been elusive for so many of us. Because the traditional models of trying to change, whether it's books, seminars, tapes, shamans, shrinks, whatever it is, only has a 3% success rate. So that means that 97% of the people are going to have to look for the next shaman course online, whatever. So, and I was one of them. So when I began to download this knowledge, this awareness, all of the mystery of why did things happen? Why did this happen to me? Why do I have to do this? How come this thing didn't work out? All of those things that seem to be mysteries, all of a sudden became very clear. Because I was able to see things energetically. I was able to see the hidden causes, and as we say in energy awareness training, the cause of all problems and the solution to all problems is energetic.